Perfect.
Welcome in. I'm Dottery Crib with tipsforgamers.com, and we're going to teach you how to trade for the fastest wide receivers in Madden 21, like Tyreek Hill, Marquise Brown, Henry Ruggs, Mecole Hardman, Ross, Isabella, DK Metcalf. You can put him at tight end. Just make sure you be careful. He's injury prone. And of course, we had to use our QB SAR method, the 5-wave and the 2-wave, to get Lamar Jackson and Pat Mahomes just to play with them on this team. This was the greatest team I've ever played with on offense in all my Madden career. I should have done this earlier. I don't know what I was missing out on until just now, and holy butt cheeks. However, let's see how many likes we can get for this video, guys. Also, leave us a comment down below like spicy beef, and check out our affiliate links and merchandise if you want to help the channel. Becoming a member as well is very useful, and we can't thank you guys enough to all of our members and our Patreon supporters. If you want to know how to sign all these guys to incredible deals, we have contract tips on that as well. So of course we had to test this team out because I was giddy as a little schoolgirl, and I was extremely happy to test them out in an all Madden league, or an all Madden game with the accelerated clock on, unfortunately, in 6-minute quarters, which was unfortunate. I'd really like to play 8-minute quarters with them with no accelerated clock on. We turned injuries down. We are working on the best injury rating because it seems to be a slight bit odd this year. They've changed it and guys seem to be dropping like a fly. However, the little bit that we did play seemed to just be almost magical. I felt like a fairy princess that I was going to a ball. That's what I felt like. Pat Mahomes, I never really realized what I missed out on because I usually choose in my own rebuilds a really crappy quarterback because I usually can get the job done and I don't have to pay him much more than basically nothing. However, Pat Mahomes is a dreamboat. I mean, dear Lord. 7 TDs, 1 interception, my bad, not his bad. Lamar Jackson, that was also my bad. I was believing that I could do anything and everything because my guys are so ridiculously good, even in all Madden with the speed threshold set to 0 and 6-minute quarters with accelerated clock on. These guys are a symphony. 3 TDs, 2 TDs, 209 yards. You don't want DK Metcalf to get touched very often because of the fact he is injury prone in Madden. Look, man, show them why you're not injury prone. However, I didn't get to sub in a lot of the guys that I wanted to sub in. 2 TDs, Marquise Brown, 77 yards. Even when Ruggs got in, he got 21 yards and 1 reception. If I had longer quarters and I could sub more of these guys in, it would be the most beautiful thing on God's green earth. To start out, we are going to be in active roster. We're going to be using the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins we use just because they got a lot of money and they're terrible, so we like to make them good. That's really it. You can do this with any team. It doesn't really matter. You can do this with coach, owner, just not player mode, obviously. Now to start this out, obviously you go grab a bunch of guys from free agency. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to be going after the Patriots wide receiver, the Big Daddy, Mr. Crunch Time, Julian Edelman. So to get Julian Edelman, it's fairly easy. It's incredibly easy, actually, and I would ask for picks back, even if you're dealing with a yellow interest tight end like I am now. 4th round pick is sufficient for me. Next up, I'm going to head to the Ravens. They're going to show green interest on Julian Edelman. Now, the techniques that we're using for these wide receivers, we will be using the SAR. That will be at the end of this video. But for the most part, we're going to be using the ladder trade technique, which you saw that we traded a 68 overall for Julian Edelman. Okay, that increased our value. That 68 overall is not really valuable to anyone besides the Patriots. And I got Julian Edelman for him because it's trading for regression. And then I'm doing the ladder trade technique, so I'm moving up the ladder. I used a 68 overall. Now I grab Julian Edelman. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be going after Hollywood Brown. Now, Hollywood Brown is, pretty difficult to trade for. If I offer him quite a bit of picks here, it's going to cost me a lot. Keep offering him picks. You could see I'm already getting to there. Now, is there a way that I could get him cheaper? Yes, and that is using the SAT. So what I'm going to do is try to profit off of trading for both of these guys. That is what you need to be thinking of. I'm looking at draft currency at this moment in time, especially to next year. So I'm going to go the 1st, I'll probably go the 4th, and then let's hit it up with the 7th. I'm trying to get as many picks as I can. That gets accepted. Now I just stacked him onto the Ravens team. So what does that do? That actually took Brown and made him tradable again. Now Julian Edelman is still trading for a regression at this moment in time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go use a left guard because it's on their team needs. Also, make sure, I cannot stress this enough, follow what we're doing. If we're in preseason, be in preseason. If we're in regular season, be in regular season. Okay, we're going to use a left guard here. We'll go to a middle linebacker, try to go 70 overall here, and then let's just see where we're at with this. Also, he's a green interest more than likely, even though it shows he's not, and I'll just prove it to you really quick. Yeah. Okay, so it's not a red interest, so just keep that in mind. So now I'm trying to get Julian Edelman back because I want to keep utilizing him in the stack and trade. You could do a lot of damage with one player if you find the right player. It's truly amazing. So I'm going to add on a 6th round 2022. Use your picks of next year, not current year. So next up, I'm going to be going after Debo Samuel. Debo Samuel is one of the untouchables, is what I like to call them, because they are valued extremely high in the trade game. So they're very, very valuable with the age. So you can see here, I could add up quite a few picks, and it's going to be almost the same exact story here. You can see, boom, 2nd round pick, even if I added up a first. So what I'm going to do is the stack and trade. Now, the stack and trade is unlike the stack and release in the fact that you could do it in the preseason and you don't have to just do it, and you can do it at any time. You don't just have to do it in the regular season. So I'm going to ask for a 1st, a 5th, and a 7th. Once again, I want to profit off this, constantly be moving up the ladder trade technique. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be going after Debo Samuel, and I'm going to be trying to pull Julian Edelman back. He is a key. I'm going to keep trying to use this key to get what I need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a right guard that I got from the free agency. You could try and use a yellow interest one as well. Sometimes it works depending on the halfback that you're using, and there's different variables that apply for different teams and what players that you have. However, we're going to show you a basic way. Leary is on the free agency, so I'm going to try to go after Debo Samuel's back and Julian Edelman at the same time because he is a key, and I want to use that key. So I'm going to use another D tackle here. I don't have any D tackles besides my starter, but I could replace him using our players to trade for list. On top of that as well, I probably will just add, a halfback here, 69 overall yellow interest, and we'll go from here. Most of these guys that I want to use, I want to be able to replace. So I try a 4th round pick here, see where I'm at. I know I'm really close. So what I'm going to do is, instead of asking for that 6th round pick, I'm going to ask for a 6th round pick of the current year instead of next year. So I know I'm really, really close. Maybe I can, I'll just steal with this. Let's just get it done. I get greedy, and you guys should always get greedy with it too. Get your 100% value that you need to get. The next guy we're going to get for this is DK Metcalf. Now, DK Metcalf is incredibly easy to get. I could use Davis here. He's going to show green interest. And then, obviously, you need to ask for picks back at this point in time just in case you could get them. This is... I don't know why they would trade him for this, but they really need a right tackle. Next up, we're going after Henry Ruggs, and in order to trade with Henry Ruggs or trade with the Raiders, you have to clear some of their cap room. They're kind of like the Chiefs in this, where they have no money to play with. So you have a few options because you have to stack Edelman onto the Raiders for him to become tradable. Nathan Peterman's sitting at $2.13 million. Another guy you go after is Darren Waller. Now, if you wanted Darren Waller, check out our players to trade for list, and you'd be able to get him. Once you pull Darren Waller off, they're going to need tight end as their team needs, and then you could utilize a trade with a tight end to that team for Henry Ruggs. However, I'm going to do just the Nathan Peterman, try to do it straight up because I don't want to actually give them picks, and I don't care for them to give me any picks back. So now that I stacked Julian Edelman onto the team, I'm going to now go after Henry Ruggs as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to utilize a left outside linebacker. I got to keep my finances small, but still keep my players' interest high for the team that I'm trading with. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a right end. I'm looking for a 70 plus overall, one that'll show green interest. And once again, you just have to skip back and forth, and you can actually see if your guys are actually interested, because a lot of times Madden glitches out. It shows that they're both red, and at this point in time, I think I would probably have to add either a halfback, but I don't know if I have one that fits the finances, and I do not. So I'm probably going to have to go a 3rd round pick of the current year and try a 4th round pick, but more than likely, yeah, I'd have to go a 3rd round pick, and you want to get Julian Edelman back. So I'm using him a lot in these trades. I'm doing the ladder trade technique, and then I did the ladder trade technique to get him, and I'm using the ladder trade technique with him each time to get more picks to keep profiting off of each one of these trades. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the SAR at the end and then show you more things that you could do. So I ended up getting Henry Ruggs, and now it is time to get Mr. Tyreek Hill. So now that we are in the regular season, because you have to do this in the regular season for the SAR, what we are going to do is we are going to trade the 3 guys that we need to trade to them in the right sequence, and make sure you guys follow the exact same sequence that we have for this to work. Now what we did is we traded for Eric Fisher because we needed to give them some cap room. They don't have any cap room. We traded them a left tackle. We want to keep them at a 53-man roster. You don't want to decrease them from a 53-man roster. We ended up trading them a halfback too in the deal, which you should not do. Just trade them a left tackle and then give them draft picks. You've already made enough draft picks at this time. You can afford to give some up. However, we already did it, and I kind of went through the motion really quick, and we are where we are. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be adding up the 3 guys that you need to add up now that we cleared up the cap room from Eric Fisher, which is Debo Samuel. We did not pick him up because of his speed. We picked him up because of his value in the game. Hollywood Brown and DK Metcalf. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to stack them onto the team. And what I'm going to be asking for here is more than likely quite a bit. 1st, 3rd, let's go 4th, see if we can do a 4th. Go from here, and we got it accepted. So 1st, 3rd, and a 4th for these guys here, and I stacked them onto the team right now. So you could see they're obviously stacked, and you see Tyreek Hill up there, Debo, Brown, Metcalf, and Hardman. So in this process, we want to get Tyreek Hill and Mecole Hardman as well. So what I'm going to do now is just trade them 3 guys from the free agency, whoever you want. I'm going to ask for a 7th round pick, and then it will go through. If it doesn't, what you need to do is you need to trade them 3 7ths and then go from there. And then here you're going to see that they dropped Tyreek Hill. Now, when you try to get some of these guys back, it becomes, pretty difficult. If I try to offer him a middle linebacker of sorts, it's going to be, let's see here. Does it actually? Yeah, it's still valuable. I really wish Madden would actually fix that, but they probably will not for a long time. So these are the 2 guys I really want back because they also dropped Mecole Hardman, but you can see they're extremely valuable at this moment in time. Remember the guy we keep getting back, the almighty beast, Julian Edelman. He's back at it again, ladies and gentlemen, and he's here to stay. So you can actually lose Julian Edelman too. He disappeared in our last one, and it was because he retired. He got put on the free agency. I don't know how. Anyways, doesn't matter. We're going back to the Chiefs at this point in time, and what I'm going to be doing is asking for Brown, and I want DK Metcalf back because I already know who is on the free agency. And at this moment in time, I'm going to be going for a middle linebacker, try to go green interest if I can. I know that Baker's showing green interest. I could go halfback at this moment. I don't have to worry about keeping them to a 53-man roster. I don't want to go Breida. So what I would do here is I would go right outside linebacker. I would do Lawson at this moment. And then I know I'm really close. And then here it's just Smeech warfare. And I'm going to be going 7th's not going to work. That 7th's not going to work. This 7th, how many 7ths do I have? Dear Lord. This 7th's, oh, nope. Back to the board. This 6th is going to work. It's the best 6th in the world. Oh, okay. Let's move on. 5th. This 5th will work. It worked. So now we got those 2 back. If you want to get Julian Edelman back just to give him a high five for all the thank you, there's another wide receiver you can use too, but that's on our players to trade for list. Here's Tyreek Hill, and then you get Robinson too. You can trade these guys back to the Chiefs because now they need wide receivers and get all their picks. And then here's Mecole Hardman as well. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let's see how many likes we could get. Subscribe, click the notification bell, share the video, head to our website for more Madden content, join our Madden group, check out our merch, and have a damn good day.